Hi Paul Prince, back this time for the Define Feminine reading. I do apologise for the delay in upload. Recently I had an accident where I skinned my knee, and while it was healing I had another incident where it ripped open the wound and I've had to allow that to heal. I do read for the collective, so that means some bits may resonate, all of it may resonate, or none of it may resonate. And if none of it resonates, that just means this reading's not for you at this time. I also read with intuition, so I read what I pick up and feel within the cards. If anyone wondering that's watching, I'm using the Prism Vision Tarot and the Divinant Moon Tarot. I'm trying something new this month using 2 decks. And for anyone that is watching that likes the way I read and the way I get the message across, if you could like and subscribe, that would be appreciated. And if anyone is wondering, they ever want to send me any new cards to keep my readings new and fresh, I will have a wish list linked in the description below. With that said, let's find out what's going on with the Define Feminine. So, what's going on with the Define Feminine? What's going on with the Define Feminine? Oh, okay, that just fell off. That feels like that should go in the middle. Okay. Oh, I really need to get myself a fucking bigger table. Fuck's sake. Fucking thing. It's a lump. Did I get it? Sorry about this. It's just the fucking cards won't sit straight. Oh. There we go. There we go. Right. So, what's going on with the Define Feminine? Right. So, in the center of all of this, I'm feeling like you are completely out of your element. In day-to-day life, something is just off with you, like something isn't sitting right and you can't quite pinpoint it. It's like you're trying to be the life of the party of a party you weren't invited to. It's like, and in the sense that you have been told either by spirit guides or someone to do something, and you're trying to do it, but it's just, it doesn't sit quite right with you. It's just one of those things, you sit there and you're like, something isn't right. It just, it's on the tip of your tongue, but you don't know how to say it. It's just a feeling that no matter what, it's just something is off and just doesn't feel right. I'm feeling. There's part of it you're being told to get rid of something, and that's either, it's a lot of this is to do with mental feelings, thoughts you have, relationships. There's certain things in your life you are looking at and you're being told it's not good for you, you should get rid of it, but you're not really feeling that's the right decision. And for some of you, you have made those installments of putting them into play, and you have gone step by step and got rid of things that you've either heard or seen or saw someone doing, you're trying to replicate it, or someone saying it worked for them, you're now trying that because they've got where they've got, now you're trying to copy it thinking it might work, or someone's tried to give you advice and you've kind of took it to the extreme, and now you're really rethinking some of the things you've done. There is some it's like petty arguments within yourself, and you're choosing to shut them out because the argument that you're having with yourself is one that you want to agree with, but it will go against everything else you've been told. So you'd rather ignore that. You'd rather ignore that conversation and argument rather than have it, because it's like there is some worry that you might have a setback, as some will say. But the thing is, it doesn't matter what anyone thinks. Any choice you have made that you choose to go back on, like I said before, you can always put something down and come back to it. It doesn't mean you're setting back. It just meant at the time you put it down because it wasn't right for you at the time, but you come back to it at a later date because it's then looked at it in perspective. So if you choose to pick something else that you've either got rid of, you've put down, so if that's a hobby, or you've got rid of a relationship you want to go back to because you feel like you've rounded yourself and ascended, and you feel like the other party's kind of ascended maturity wise, if you go back to that, that's fine. You need, like I always say, follow your heart. If your heart says it's right, do that. Don't let anybody sit there and tell you shouldn't do this or you're making a mistake. Fuck them. It's not for them to say. You know in your heart of hearts, if you feel it's right, then do it because it's going to make you happy. Right now there's an emptiness within a lot of you. I'm feeling there is it's like one half of you is missing, in the sense that there, at a time in your life you was whole and you knew who you was, and it's like you've going down this road without meaning to, you've lost something within you, and that's that kind of spark that kind of got the ball rolling and kind of got the things that you wanted and the things you do. And it's like you are there's an emptiness and a void within yourself that you are you're not trying to replace it, you're trying to fill it, in the sense of trying to find what's missing to get it back. I'm feeling I'm also feeling for some of you, if you know the film Beauty and the Beast, he has a rose in a glass case thing, and I'm feeling like for you guys, your rose is dead. Your petals are fallen, and you're now suffering the consequence, if that makes sense. It's like he had until the last petal fell for someone to fall in love with him for who he was. He can't force it. He has to have someone love him. And I feel like with this journey, some of you have come to a halt because you feel like it's like you're lost, and you feel like you've done all you can, that you're now, this is your reward, that everyone made out you was going to get this, you're going to do so much and you're going to reap this reward, and now there's no reward. And it's like you are just literally sitting there like, I've done everything I've been told and I'm left with nothing, and you're the one that's lost out. And it's like you've let go of people that for some of you, I feel like you've let go of some relationships that you weren't fully happy, but you weren't unhappy. And whether that's friendships, relationships, colleagues, there's people in your life that weren't fully showing effort that you've just got rid of them because you thought it was the right thing to do, or some of you have got rid of thoughts you've been having to try and make things flow. And it's like, no matter what you do that people suggest, you're doing it. It's like you're doing it because people are suggesting it. You're not doing it because you want to do it. You're doing it because someone said it's going to work for you, and that's really the problem. Like I say, in your heart, if you feel you don't want to do something, just because someone says you should do it, doesn't mean you should. Because if you don't feel it sits right with you, don't do it. Don't do it because someone says, well, if you don't do this, it's this, or if you don't do that, then it's that. It's not, because if it doesn't, like, if there's someone negative in your life, someone says they're toxic, but you don't see that they're toxic, maybe towards you they're not toxic, maybe towards other people they are. And just because they're toxic to one person doesn't mean they're toxic to you. And it's the same with thoughts you have. If you want to think about things, or you want to watch, even if you watch, for instance, multiple tarot readers, and they're all telling you hundreds of different things, and you're like, I love watching, but I can't keep watching because someone says I shouldn't be watching and focusing on too much tarot stuff. Fuck that. If you want to watch tarot, watch tarot. Like, if it makes you happy, do it. I feel like there are some mental thoughts you have you're keeping very close to your heart. There are some stuff you're not opening up to people about because it's gonna make you vulnerable, or you're afraid it's gonna cause chaos, and you are not willing to kind of let that part of you out yet. You are keeping that to yourself, I'm feeling. It's something that you cherish. It's something you mentally cherish so much that you aren't gonna have someone come in and kind of make it poison, because to you it makes you happy, and something you're doing is making you happy in yourself, and you haven't told anyone about it because you're happy with it, or what you're thinking about you're happy with. You're not going to have someone come in and kind of poison what you've got going on, the kind of the good nature of it. In your head it's quite good natured, so you're not going to allow someone to come in and kind of ruin that for you, I feel. I feel like there is some adjustment coming, that you're going to come out of this spat of being mentally handicapped. You're going to start to evolve and ascend a lot much more further. I'm feeling for some of you there is a new relationship, not necessarily a lover relationship, but there is someone going to come in and they are going to help kind of teach you to walk again, in the sense of you've been handicapped mentally, now you can have someone kind of help you get those steps and the ball rolling, I'm feeling like. I don't feel like you're going to be trapped anymore. I feel like for quite a while you've been trapped in things that have been growing spiritually and emotionally. You've been quite trapped by that, and it's, for some of you, I feel like you found it quite hard to kind of step past that barrier. It's like, even though you was wrapped up in all this spirit stuff, you've been quite it's been more of a comfort zone, and you've been scared to kind of step out of that box. But this person, whoever it is that's coming in, is gonna help progress you out of there and kind of experience everything on the outside of the box you were contained in. I'm also feeling like there is a part of your past you're leaving open, in the sense of there is something you're coming back to at a later date, but you're leaving it open as a possibility to come back. Whether you're coming back permanently for it, you're coming back for a little bit, or you may never come back to it, but you have left a doorway open to come back, and that is good. And the reason it is good is because you need that, what you've come from, you always need to remember what you've come from to help build you as a person. So leaving that doorway open isn't saying I'm going back to it and I'm going to take 100 steps back. No, you're saying it's going to remind me and help me every step of the way. It's going to show me how far I'm going away from this and how far I've now come. But you can also come back with it with this new perspective, that you can come back and have a look at this perspective, because the way you are thinking and the way your process is of how things are now, it's not suitable for you to deal with the situation. So if you leave it open, when you're much more widened with your perspective, you'll be able to come back at it and look at it from every perspective and have a much more wiser take on the situation, rather than now. It's like giving a 2-year-old keys to a car and saying drive, but then boom, 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 steps down the line, you're now 20, 30, here's keys to a car, you've learnt to drive, now drive. It's like, you wouldn't know how to drive it to, but you'd know how to drive if you learnt once you're old enough. So it's like, you need to kind of, it's good that you've left this door open, but you need to, it will remind you and it will help push you forward, and then you can come back to it if you so see fit. Some of you are going to come back to it, so that could be coming back to your divine masculine. Some of you, that could be coming back to a soulmate. Some of you, that could be coming back to deal with a karmic and having words and parting on good terms. Some of you, it could be coming to your DM and then parting ways. It could be some of you coming back to a past relationship that was a friendship that they were quite negative, and you've kind of had to have this time apart to kind of see things and kind of meet in the middle. There are some, I'm feeling like there is some worry with money. There is quite, I'm feeling like there is for some of you quite a bit of, there's quite a bit of challenge with money right now, that you are feeling like you're having to cling on to money, because it's like there's so many opportunities that are being told to you that could kind of expand your financial stability, and then you're not too sure if it's really going to work out. So you are clinging on to the bit of financial stability you have to kind of give you that security, because it's like you're afraid that you're going to be told no and you're not going to get what you've hoped for. So you'll rather cling on to what you've got rather than what could possibly be. And that's there is a problem with that, in the sense that you are clinging on to what you have. By clinging on to everything you have right now, you're not making room for anything new. It's okay to keep it near you, but don't keep it on you, in the sense, don't cling on to it. Have it somewhere safe that you know it's there. And I'm talking about, like, hypothetically. So, like, if some of you are really scrimping and scraping, you're trying to save every penny just in case for a rainy day. No, it's okay to save some, but you don't need to save every little penny, sort of thing. For some of you, you have had a message, or you have had something come in that's kind of giving you an opportunity that's now made you kind of bring some of your barriers that you've built up down, and now you're trying to improve your circumstances. So for some of you, you are really gonna you are just cutting everything away, and you are trying to make room for new growth. I'm really feeling like some of you are really taking and really progressing. But that's the thing with this journey, everyone's in different stages of the path. So some of you are at the stage where you're now building those walls that others are now chopping down because they're moving forward, and you will come to that at a later date. And that's why I see some of you have you've kind of found things are kind of slotting into place for you, so you're kind of being able to move forward with that, I'm feeling. I feel like you have found that kind of inner balance, and any worries you had, you're kind of juggling them quite nicely now. And there's bits here that you are really, for so long you've been this kind of cold, broken thing that you have kind of sat there and it hasn't fixed, and I think you thought over time it would fix itself, and it hasn't. And I think you've kind of now been able to protect yourself, and you're now, and I think it's to do with relationships, like actual lover relationships. Like, some of you have been that hurt and broken that you, and damaged, that you thought over time on your own you're kind of, it would fix it, and it hasn't kind of fixed what you was hoping it to fix. So you've now protected yourself enough to go into something new not willing to get hurt again, because you're going to wear that new armor, I'm feeling. So I want to get some triggers for the DF. I want to get some triggers. So some triggers. Triggers for the DF. Triggers for the DF. Okay, so. Okay. Triggers for the DF. Triggers for the DF. Okay, so. Right. So one of the triggers I'm feeling here is fear. You are, for some of you, entering into new relationships is scary for you. You're feeling like all you're going to do is have blades coming at you from every angle, that you are going to be hurt the moment you step out of your box. The moment you try something new, it's like you are going to be impacted with pain and hurt, and you're going to be back to square one. I also feel like for some of you, that you, because you have what's happened in your past, you aren't sure whether your past is going to bring itself up if you move forward. By leaving this doorway open that I said earlier, it's like, even though you've left that doorway open, it's like you think that the choice you've now made is going to impact any further thing you do. It's just a waiting game. I also feel like there is a like you are so, it's like you've become so attached to, and I think this is for the ones that have children, you've become so motherly that you kind of are attached to the point where you want to go towards, either some of you want to work, or some of you want to try something new, but you are so determined that your role as a parent has to come before anything else. You don't want to be selfish, and that's the problem. That you were saying that you're not allowing that thing we said, that I spoke about, someone, you're keeping it to your heart, and you're not going to allow someone come in and kind of poison that. You're also poisoning yourself by telling yourself you can't be selfish for your own reasons, because sometimes you need to be selfish to have love for yourself. You need to kind of be a bit selfish. As long as you're catering for everyone that needs to be catered for, you still need to be able to cater for yourself first, because the relationship that you've had the longest is the one you've had with yourself, and that's the one you really need to work on. It's the one that you need to always make sure is a priority, and always not left in the back. And for some of you as well, I'm feeling like you are very worried that you've kind of fucked up, that you have done something so wrong that like I was saying, how the rose fell and this is your reward. You need to stop worrying that you're not getting anywhere, because it is happening, but things take time, and things are going to have to be lined up in place. And yes, it's not going to be like instant. It could take some of the times it could take weeks, it could take months, and that's why you shouldn't fixate on certain aspects of things you believe are going to happen. It's good that you believe it and it will happen, but there's not going to be an exact time frame. And when you start to fixate on when's it going to happen, it says soon. I hate the word soon because soon can mean anything. Soon can mean 10 years. It's sooner than 20. Like 50 years, that's sooner than 100. Like, no one can say what soon means. Soon is by definition in the eye of the beholder. So what soon means to me will not mean what soon means to you. That's why it's not good to fixate on anything that you believe is happening. Just however long it takes, just know it'll be worth it. So let's get some guidance and vibe before I finish up. This has been a long video. So some guidance and advice. Some guidance and advice. Guidance and advice. Let's read that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So I could tell straight away, some of you that are watching this, you are going to be agitated to what's been said, because it's like no matter what you try, it isn't working, in the sense that you are trying everything possible, and that's your problem right there. Stop trying to do everything, because you can't please everyone. You can't do everything to fix one situation. If it does not feel right, even if someone says do it, even if I would say you should do this, you should do that, it's all suggestion, it's all advice. I'm advising you, I'm not telling you you have to do it. When you sit and ask yourself, does it feel right? Is it going to progress me? Is it going to move me forward? Does it feel right? If your heart, head and stomach all say yes and you feel good about it, do it. If one of them is off or you feel iffy about it, do not do it. And you need to be able to have that strength to kind of sit with yourself and kind of really be strategic and methodical about the choices you're making. Stop trying to do every little thing and please every area. Like I was saying, that you feel like there's a piece missing inside you. For some of you, that is a financial avoidance. And the problem is, money doesn't grow on trees. It has to grow from somewhere. Just like a tree grows, trees can take 10 to 20 years to grow. Some longer, I think. And it's like, that's the same with how you're going to get better financial stability and you're going to progress. It's going to take time, and it's going to be a long process. Nothing is coming in rushing. I'm not seeing anything coming in like bam, it's here in the next week. I don't see that. I never see time scales or anything like that, because I always see that things take time. Regarding this mental issue that I said you are holding to yourself, it's good that you are doing that, because it's something you are dreaming for, something to be better. So it's good to hold that to your heart, because it will help give you that kind of kick up the arse to kind of let things flow. For some of you, start looking at new things you could do, new things you could try, kind of come a bit more out of your comfort zone. And I've said this before, even if you say, I've tried it, I don't like it, try something similar, because just because you may say something, because people are tendency to judge a book by a cover. You may see a look of a movie and be like, that is not for me, I can tell you straight away. But if you watch it, it might actually be for you, because it might not be what you think it is, because looks can be deceiving. And that's really the way you're going to be able to move forward, when you start to kind of incorporate all of the aspects in your life that you are confused about. When you start to, if you use the advice I've given you and you kind of do what your heart tells you, and you kind of start to do things at your comfort zone and try things and let it flow, and you kind of use what you're holding dear to you to kind of help push you, things will start to flow more, and you'll start to see that move forward that you have kind of been kind of stuck on. So that's what I'm getting for the DF. Thanks for watching.